plantation 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Everyone from newborns to 70-year-olds were sold out of here. For enslaved people to make the most money for the traders and for the sellers, they have to be prepped first. Prep could be everything from high fat and high protein diets to get them into better physical shape, as well as fresh clothing. You have the sort of prepping of the skin through oiling. If they're looking a little bit older, they could either dye the hair or pluck any grays that someone would have, things of that nature, in order to, when they come up onto the block, they're able to garner the largest amount of money.
And I'm looking at a list of Negroes, and it says number 1, the name is Sunday, the age is 45.
Enslaved people, they didn't have last names generally until the 1870 census. And so it was the question of, what is your name?
Because the names could be changed each time you were sold?
They would be changed. That's the first thing that is changed every time you're sold. So on all broadsides you will ever see, this is just the name they come to the sale with. And keep in mind that the enslaved property of slave owners was worth more than everything else they owned. It was worth more than the plantation. It was more than the land, more than the goods that are produced on that plantation, more than the house, more than any other liveries that they have. So the first thing that's going to be sold to pay for a debt is new enslaved. Because you didn't have to buy them outright. You could mortgage them. So this is representative of a pricing chart. There are 4 factors that define how much an enslaved person is ultimately sold for. The first is age. The younger you are, because it's a future investment, the more valuable you are. Also, there's something called prime. It was enslaved individuals from about the age of 10 to 12 to the age of about 25. For males, it was the amount of work they can do in that time. They're very strong, they're very virile, and for females, it's the amount of children they can produce. And so you have the subcategories based on age, skills, health, and skin tone. And so when it came to movement of enslaved, prior to being brought onto that block, they're going to be chained. Now everyone's going to be chained. It's not just going to be grown-ups. It's not going to be the elderly. It'll also be the children.
And so I think what I'm looking at are shackles that were designed for an adult male and shackles that were designed for a child of maybe 3 or 4.
Yes. And again, as I mentioned, that blacksmithing was a job that enslaved people would do. They could be in charge of making shackles.
Let's go upstairs. How hard is it for you to work here and do this every day? Because it has to take a toll.
It does.
I get that.
Yeah. But I'm also really lucky. The end piece of a very large whip. It was originally about 6 feet long, and if you look very closely, there are braided bits, nails driven into the leather wrap, and that would act as a way to both, stiffen it, but also to bite into the skin.
Easter, I would like to ask, what are the 3 holes that I see in these bricks in the walls there?
They're fingerprints. Enslaved people would begin to learn a skill at the age of about 6. And so fingerprints and handprints and thumbprints exist all throughout the city because enslaved people built the city. As you can see,